Alright, so welcome back. To kind of answer the radio silence that's been going on for the past 2-ish months, I have gotten another project, which is another 745 Li car. This specific one is a 2002, which means it is a first year production model, and this specific one is actually a first month production model. But this will not be a restoration project. Instead, it will be a part-out project. This car I am parting out largely due to the fact that the condition of the engine is unknown. We don't have keys. There's a missing mirror. The rear trunk has been messed with, if you can see it from over here. And there's all sorts of electrical failure in the main cabin. There was a mice infestation, and among that, other issues. So, rather than take the time to restore this one, I'm going to be taking pieces off of this car and putting them onto this car, which is another 745 Li. This one is my daily driver, and it's the one that I repaired previously, and I've been driving ever since. This car has all kinds of issues with it and needs all kinds of work done. From where the front bumper is messed up, none of the front parking sensors work, the front grille is messed up, there's the arch lining for the wheel on the other side, it's completely gone. There's no underbody panels, the side skirts are all damaged, the doors have parts that are damaged, the rear sunshades are gone. There's a number of little lights messed up in this taillight. This part of the taillight doesn't even work because of a sheared wire. There's little panels back here missing. And there's also that, which I'd want to get a little bit looking better. That was done by the previous owner, where they basically straight piped it, but they cut it off in the middle and then just kind of left it there. So I kind of just routed it over here to the back and then put the pipes in. But this rear bumper is also partially destroyed and none of the rear parking sensors work. So along with that, there are probably a dozen other issues with this car that I could get into, but most of them will just be fixed with time, or in time, from this car. Now, the reason why I was hesitant to part out this car, since I'm already kind of hesitant at parting out cars, this car, for not only being a first month production car for the American market, is also the highest trim spec you could get at the time. It had basically every option. It had the best engine you could get, which is the N62B44, or which is standard V8. And among that, it had tons and tons of other cool little things on it, including the backseat fridge, which I will be taking out of this car and putting into that car, which will be its own separate video. But among all the different options with the car, it also had the rear spoiler, which I sadly couldn't get because the guy sold it before I could get to the car, and then whatever. But it also has this back here, which this little rear bumper surround is aftermarket, but along with that, it also has a Remus exhaust system, which from what I hear is very high quality and is very good. But as for the update to what's been going on and why the next video has been taking so long to come out is, well, I've been working on this, which so far the next part, or the first video I'm going to be posting for this video, or for this car, is going to be a basically interior overhaul for that one, as that one has the creamy beige interior. Meanwhile, this one has a nice gray. And the wood trim in that one is all sorts of messed up. Meanwhile, this one is actually nice. So, yeah. That will be the next couple of projects going on, and they'll be aperiodically tossed in among with the other videos from fixing the car that's in there. Along with that, there is going to be many other little things being fixed on or taken off of this car and put onto that car, as since this one is a full part out, there's going to be plenty of video opportunities for me and plenty of videos that will be coming out from where I'll be taking, as stated, as much as possible that I can get off of this car and either selling it or just scrapping it or installing it onto that car. Along with that, I will be showing many other little things on how to do to this car, such as polishing up the headlights, taking off some of this weird paint marks if it's visible, and also just general other stuff that has to be done or could be done to these cars. Alright, so welcome to the inside of my daily driving E66 745 Li. The first repair that I'll be doing in here is the LCI module, because in this car it had failed. And what that looks like is whenever you try to have the car on or doing pretty much anything with the car, this little light over here, this over here won't do anything, and there won't even be a light over on this whenever you try to turn it on. Another way you can tell when it isn't working is that even on full beam and with everything on, you can come out here, look forward, and only the headlights will be on. And when you come out to the back, there will only be the top part of the brake light on. With just those lights on, even though they're on full beam, you can tell that the LCM had failed. And then you can turn it off, completely turn all the lights off, come out here again, and they will still be on, even if the rest of them aren't on. Which looks like that. So, to fix that, you need to take this little module here, and here is its part number for anyone who needs it. But to fix that failure, there is, again, this module underneath down here, and you need to take that panel off, take the air vent out, and then wiggle the module out, and you can eventually replace it. So, let's get started. Another way of telling that the module has failed is if you go into here, car data, down to this button, and then check, there will be a lighting system failure that will say that. So, the first thing you're going to want to do is, besides here and this hole, there would normally be a screw, but mine's missing. But over here, there it is. And there's a total of either 4 or 5 of these that you have to remove. And once you do that, this whole panel will drop down. Then you unplug this light, and then we can get to the next step. Okay, so, bit of a correction, there are exactly 4 screws, but once you get those down, you simply go into here, unplug the light, pull this forward to get it off of the brake line, and then just kind of wiggle it around until you get this little holding bracket out. Once you get that out of the way, you can look up here and you'll see the 1 screw you have to take out to get this air distribution out. Which comes out fairly easily. Mine is rusted, so it's taking a lot more effort to get out than it normally does. But once you get it out, this whole tube will drop down. And then what you're left with is, after you do that, take this, pull it towards the door, and it'll slide out just like that. Then, when you look up into here, there's your module, which has an 8mm bolt holding it down. And once you remove that, you can continue on. Okay, real quick. My car has apparently had something wired into there, as there is not supposed to be a wire attaching it to there. I'm not really sure what that goes to or what it's there for, but yeah, I guess there's some kind of wire attached there. But it is supposed to be an 8mm bolt, which, once I grab it, would look like this, with no extra wires or anything attached to it. Okay, so once you get that bolt removed, simply take this, lift up, and you can begin wiggling it out of there, however you manage to get it out. Which, once you do, should be like such. And then, bam. Now you have the module out, which push down on the tab, pull this little lever down, and off it comes. Real quick assessment, as mine appear to look different. And have different part numbers, which is a little worrying, but I'll install it anyways and see if it still works. Alright, a little bit of unfortunate news, but this version of it is different than the one that I have. I'm not entirely sure what the difference is, or why the one that I extracted is larger, which came out of that car. But I guess it's different, so it's going to need to be changed. It might be because the iDrive system got updated in the 2 years since the 2002 version over there, but that does mean I'm going to need to order a new one before I actually get this swap done. So A little unfortunate, but it's not really the end of the world. Change of plans. This car is all full of surprises. So I got as far as to putting all that stuff back into there and getting all that stuff done when I decided to check it, and suddenly it now works like it's supposed to be, with all the lights up here working as they should be. Well, as they were before. And if we come back here, you can see them working with that light being out, as I said earlier. But yeah, so I guess if it doesn't work, you can take it out, unplug it for a couple of seconds, and then plug it back in and see if that'll work. But yeah, so somehow this went from a module that I had to buy a different one for, because I guess this one doesn't fit, which also means I guess I can sell this, but it now also means that I don't even have to buy a new one, as it's fixed somehow. So yeah, a pretty interesting video. Okay, so in final conclusion, after I got everything back up there and the module now works, this was a rather simple but also kind of odd fix for this car. And what I'll be doing, and what I'd probably advise to do after something like this, is to just take some kind of scan tool and go through and just basically wipe all the codes. As I'm sure once I power it on for real, there's going to be something on the dash or on the instrument cluster. But yeah, so thank you for watching. Hope if you do one of these that yours goes smoother than this. And yeah, thank you for watching. Have a great day.